Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Just waiting for people to show up. Who's going to be first today? You win a brand new, I don't know. It's another beautiful day. I can't believe that I feel the exact same almost every day in a row. I'm super happy. I don't know if I deserve to even be this happy, but I felt extremely happy every day for a very long time in a row. And the things I'm sad about, right, that I do get sad about, it's easy to control and become happy again. And so, I wonder, if I was able to control my emotions like this, what life would have been like, you know? What's going on, AJ Blunt? I'm glad you're first. I'm just talking to myself. It's hard because, you go live and you got about a minute, right, to kill. But the people clicking on later, they get that extra minute of just me mumbling about nonsense, right? And it's not until another person shows up that I feel comfortable, right, talking talking to another human being, right? It's like I have nothing to say until I see you guys. I mean, today's lesson, when I, prayed for an outline. Good morning, Clutch. How are you doing today? Was just more or less the fact that people are in denial to a point, and even some of us are guilty of it. Like if something's uncomfortable to talk about or it feels offensive, there's a lot of us that just don't want to call it out just because we don't want to seem insensitive. But anytime I call out somebody that's evil, right? Unless they're doing something that's affecting innocent people, like kids or something like that, right? If you see somebody that's not on the right track and you call it out, it's only to get that person on the right track so that we could celebrate that person. Because what's the point of being judgmental, right? If if you're not going to use it to improve anything, right? To improve anybody's life. I mean, then it's just being derogatory, right? And there's been plenty of times where I've oh yeah, this guy's a demon or whatever. But only because I want to help that person get to the right side of things. If someone today that wasn't saved, right? And I don't create who gets saved and who doesn't. It's just this is the rules, right? If somebody's not saved and I call them out and they want to be saved, I would give that person as much of my time as possible. Negative 30. Oh my God, Clutch. Are you are you digging out snow up there, or is it just too cold to snow? Sometimes it'll get too cold to snow, right? Because I can't imagine that you'd be even be able to shovel snow that cold. It would be a rock. And my brother used to live, or I think he still does. He lives up in Pollock Pines, which is near Tahoe, and it does snow quite a bit up there. Yeah, that's what I thought, Clutch, when it's that cold. I've never been in weather that cold. I mean, I've been in Ohio, and it was pretty darn cold up there. But I don't think negative 30. I think I would remember that. But I remember because I'm from California, right? I didn't see the snow for the first time in my life until I was like 20 or something like that. I was like 20 years old, 21, maybe a little younger, maybe just 19 or 20. And I'd never been out in weather that, if you stay out too long, you could die. Like it's hard to believe that there's areas in the world where if you stay outside, your life is on the line. It's interesting. Very interesting. So I'm watching let me put my banner on real quick. I was watching, some YouTube shorts or whatever just to get some kind of like secular, news and information, right? And there's a couple where there's like some married couples, right, that are like married and they do little shorts or something like that, like short videos. And this is not my thing. Like you can watch like 20 in about a half hour or something like that. And it's just like, husband and wife kind of picking on each other. And I don't know. I guess there's some value in that. I don't know. But it seemed like every single one of these videos, they were doing devil horns or Mark of the Beast or, I mean, blatantly doing it, for no reason that would matter in the film. Like it's not like they're saying, "Oh yeah, this is a-okay," or just blatantly doing it. And it's like, how many people are involved with this whole thing? This Tower of Babel, rebuilding Babylon. Like what? Like how many people are in on this? Like, I mean, look, there's times where I know what's going on, and I can kind of put things together on who's connected and who's talking, because there'll be a wording group that I'll say a certain way to people, and so if I hear it that way again, right, an uncommon way, I know that that person talked to that other person, right? And that has served me a lot. Like 90% of the time, you can pretty much connect people that way. And it seems like a big waste of time, right? But it does like help you connect dots of like, okay, well, I do know what's going on, but like they think they're making a fool out of me somehow, but they're really not. But I'm also in a position where I can't call it out either. I still have to be patient, and everything is up to God and prayer, right? So it's hard because it's like if you bring in if I were to bring my ego into it, yeah, I want to call everybody out and like and like catch them right when they're doing it so that they know that they didn't get me. But sometimes I have, you got to put that ego away and let somebody think that they got the better of you. Have you guys ever been in a situation where you know that the people around you or the person around you is like not good or doing things that are like weird symbolism or whatever, but you just don't call it out? Or have you guys ever been in that situation where you're like, oh my God, I know that this person is not legit, but I just can't call it out at this point. I just gotta be supportive and hang in there and see what happens, if this person will change, or if there's a better time to call it out. Yeah, silence is golden and leave. But what if you, but this is my scenario, right? And you're absolutely right, Red Skies. There's no doubt about that. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But my problem has always been silence and then stay and watch it get deeper and deeper and deeper until I have these people all around me. And then it's like, of course I see what's going on. I'm not an idiot, but the longer I let it go, the more they think I'm an idiot and the more loose they are with what they're doing. And so people, human beings just as a whole, they like we go in patterns, right? Like routines and patterns. Human beings are just like that, whether we're trying to do that or not. And so you can start to catch on to these patterns that these people do if you are quiet and you're around them for long enough. Then it's pretty easy to read them, especially if they're like narcissistic and they project onto other people what they're actually doing. Then you get like all the information that they're saying right about other people is what they're actually doing, and so they really tell on themselves. And so you just like keep a note of like, okay, well, this person's accused these people of all these things. Obviously, they see it in that other person. How would they see that behavior and recognize it? And if there's no like legitimate reason for them to recognize it, then it's because they're doing it, Because that's how we pick up signals from other people. Like if there's something I do when I like somebody and I see them doing it towards me, I'll be like, oh man, maybe they like me. And so like that's how we pick up nonverbal cues is with we project our own feelings onto the other person. But when you're just hanging out with a bunch of people doing all kinds of symbolism and all kinds of stuff, right? And you don't say nothing and it just builds and they get way more bold with it. And then you're like, wow, okay, now I see the pattern. I see how these people operate, right? Now, how are they going to treat me and when it matters, right? Because I'm really in that position to help them out. Like I want to get people to the right side of things. Like, hey, look, the reason why I believe in Jesus is because it's true. That's the number one. Well, you can say that, right? You can say that it sounds manipulative, right? But I'm not the one that's starting all of the you know, I'm not the one. Like it's almost like I caught them manipulating, but just haven't called it out. And so I don't know what you would call that. Is that manipulative in its own self? I don't know. I don't know. But if I would have called it out at the beginning, then I wouldn't have been able to help. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, but see, that's what I mean. But when other people are manipulative, I just accept it, right? Because I mean, 90% of the world is that way. Like that's normal behavior now. Like they're the ones that are normal, right? Being manipulative is a normal thing for people to act. Just because we don't do it, right? We're the rare people that don't do that kind of thing. And they do it all the time and then they accuse other people of doing it. It's funny to me sometimes because they'll just accuse people of stuff that's totally not true that the other person is doing that. But it's really they're saying everything that they do. Yeah, and I try to be pretty transparent. I mean, I think it's clear that I don't want anything from anybody, right? There's like I get nothing out of this except for, the value of just being in good friendships, right? Because I'm not creepy or rapey or, flirty or any of that kind of behavior, right? And I don't like ask for money or I don't pit people against each other. I don't fight anybody for attention, right? It's so when you get to that point, right, where you don't want anything, right? You don't need anything. You're just willing to be there for other people, right? Because I know my purpose is for God, right? And God loves you the same way he loves me, right? And that's the way we have to be towards each. Like the reason I love other people is because God wants me to. And I'm not ashamed to say that, right? Because um I do have like genuine feelings for people, like authentic feelings for everybody, right? But the main reason, right, that well, I love God number one, right? And God wants me to love other people. That's the second commandment, right? Just like if you misplace an item and sometimes you might think in your head a certain person took it, then you find that out. Yeah, yeah, right. Or you think that a certain person took it and they did, and you never call them out on it, and then you see them do it again and again and again. Then it's like a pattern that they do, you know? And so you've never called it out. They don't know that you know, right? And they get bolder and bolder and bolder, and they do it right in front of you like you're a fool, you know? But like the thing is like when a person that's like contrary to getting saved, right, is in my life, right? I'm really there to help them. So anything they do, right, to me, thinking they're, getting some kind of laugh off on me or whatever, it's gonna sink in at the end of this whole thing that maybe they should have yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely right, Red Skies. That's the reason, right? Why I don't call it out and push it, right? Because maybe they just want to stay in their pattern. But when it's all said and done, right? And it sinks in that I was really there to help and they just never picked up on that, it's gonna be on them, right? I mean, it shouldn't be my job to say, "Hey, I'm here to help you and you need my help." Because that's ego, right? That's like there's no room for that, right? Some people just want to, like, if someone came up to me, right, and said, I believe that, Jesus is the Lord and I know that that's true, but I decide to go the other way. Well, then, hey, then that's on you, right? I mean, what can I do? You have God given free will, right? But if someone says, I don't believe that it's true, right? Then it kind of puts a responsibility on me, like, okay, well, I have to show you that it is true, if you'll let me, you know, and then you can make a clear decision once you know what is true and what is not true. But even then, some people don't want your help. And it's hard to tell because even the people that you would say, okay, these people don't deserve your help, right? Those are the people I want to help the most because who else is going to help them if they're hard people to help? That like people normally wouldn't want to help those people. Those are the people I want to help. It says, remember at the four-way stop sign, and the other car has the right of way, but you both sit there. Then both of you go at the same time and pull the brakes. Yep, you're right. That's a good analogy. That's a good analogy right there. Because if the person just took their right away, then everyone would be okay. Yeah. Sometimes people want to convince you that it's not true, but don't want to hear it. Right. Well, there's a lot of people that don't want it to be true, right? And so they think that if they can get you not to believe it, then maybe it's possible that it's not true. I don't know. So this is what I say, right? If you're any type of a math or science person, there's no way you would roll the dice. Like if if God and eternal conscious torment or any of that stuff was even 1% chance of being true, would you roll those dice? I mean, that's silly, man. That's silly on its best day. I mean, you must really want to do something that's not good, really bad to want to roll those dice. If you told me, right, because now I know that God is real, right? It's not even a question. But if you told me that there's 1% chance that God is real, there's no way I'm rolling the dice. There's no way. Because if you're wrong, man, you're in the lake of fire. That's not good. But even more so than that, right? I even prayed to God about this, right? Like even if at the end of my life I just go poof and I disappear, right? If that was the scenario, I I would be more I would still want God to be happy with me, you know? Like I just want God to be happy with me. And upsetting God right, is what would be more painful to me than um, you know, being destroyed. If that makes any sense, right? If I disappointed God, I wouldn't want to be in existence. If he was upset with me or didn't like me or something, I wouldn't want to be alive because I feel like I was made for him, you know? Like that's what I was made for. That's what my purpose is. And so if God didn't like me, I wouldn't want to be around. Does that make any sense? And so I just want to do things that make God happy. Yeah, you're right. It's not like losing a $20 bet. If it's, see, I'm not like a firm believer in eternal conscious torment. I mean, I might be getting there. I've seen some good stuff that AJ Blunt showed me, but I know that I can't disprove it. That's for sure. So it's still on the table, right? Like, do I want to roll the dice and have a chance of being burned forever? Oh, no, I don't think so. And if that means that I have to like love people within a genuine way, right? In an authentic, genuine way that's safe for everybody, then that's what I need to do. And we should fear God. We should fear God and treat each other the best that we can and always assume that he's watching us, right? He's watching us right now. He has infinite time just for you. Because it always used to blow my mind, like when a football player would say, like, they would ask, "Oh, did you pray?" Blah blah blah. Oh, God doesn't care about football. No, he cares about everything. God has infinite time for everything, even this stuff that makes no sense, and all of it. God cares about all of it, and He has the ability to care about all of it, right? But what gets me is like people that are against God, right? They believe it, but they're against Him, right? Now that is crazy to me, right? Like, how could be, because even heard people say that God was a narcissist. I mean, God doesn't need us, right? Like God wouldn't have made us if he was a narcissist, you know? You know how incredibly humble you have to be to have everything be everything, you are everything, and then to create another sentient thing, right? Like that, humble that is to want to share your life with something far less than what you are. Like I don't understand the way people think. Or you'll get somebody that's, look, I'm only 40 something years old, right? Almost 45. Like you're not gonna hear me say, hey, I was doing some thinking and disproved everything and this whole thing is messed up and blah blah blah. Like, I mean, come on, man. What do I have to say, right? With my own thinking and my own understanding that's even remotely close to what God knows, We're being watched 24/7, and he knows if you're doing lustful things, bad things. Yeah, he knows what we're thinking. I mean, like we we can't, nothing we do can exist without God, right? So he has to be aware of everything because you can't add information to God. He is everything, right? He's all powerful, all knowing, he's omnipresent, right? So there's nothing we can do or think or anything possible for us to do that he is not aware of. Hey Faith, how you doing? We're getting into some deep stuff today. Makes me feel happy that you're here. I don't know if you guys seen Chris. I don't know if he's still sleeping or not. He did text me yesterday, so I did hear from him. That's good. And I emailed Kay Stover. I was wondering how he was doing. Oh, Camo. Has anybody seen Camo around? He's not an everyday guy, but he comes a lot. Oh, he was here? Oh, okay, cool, cool. Well, at least he stopped by and said hi. That's cool. Even if people do that, I'm like super good with that. Amanda was here. That's cool. I see Amanda only once in a while. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's halfway awake. There he is. Yeah. Campbell was here yesterday. Yeah. Well, it's weird because not everyone watches every day, so it's hard to quantify and count. We have a lot of guys here today. We got about a half. There we go. Yeah, hey, I always say that. I just was just talking about you, and you pop out of nowhere. I am far better than I deserve. You, and that's I say that all the time too. Cause I've like with like I think I get misunderstood on Facebook because I don't go on there very much. But I went on there and said this was like a week ago, right? I said I feel so happy, like way more happy than I deserve. Like I don't deserve to be this happy. Because I was just trying to express how happy I am, right? And I was getting people like almost treating me like I was being victimized or something. They're like, "Oh, you deserve to be happy. It's okay, buddy." You know, like trying to like give me a pat on the back. Because maybe people are just not used to hearing people be happy, and they just assume you're complaining about something. I don't know. There you are, Clutch. Yeah, you were already here. I just saw you already. Yeah, you were already here. Oh, it's Camo I was talking about. I mix you guys together sometimes. You and Camo for some reason. And I do that with Ray of Sunshine and Shepherd's Voice. Sometimes I'll think that they're the same person, but they're not. They're both different. What who's a crazy troll? What are you saying, Red Skies? Let me see. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Oh, who's here? Oh, he's here. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, who was the troll? I don't even know who the troll was. Did you guys get him right off the bat? Oh, you guys got him already? Oh, okay, cool, cool. Who was it? Do you know who it was? Either way, who cares? It is what it is, right? I mean, look, I get trolled so much, man. It's not even oh, that's awesome. I get trolled so much it's not even funny, man. But to be honest, like sometimes it helps, right? Sometimes, well, I would say 100% of the time it helps, to be honest. But I don't like it, but it does bring lost eyes to the channel. And if I take off this streamer here, watch, see how many people are in here now? There's 8. I'm gonna take this banner off, and you watch what happens. I I I I don't know why it always happens, but it does. Watch, we'll just start talking. Oh, they were talking about his video. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, I'm I don't know what to think about all that as far as like how it's possible or what happened there or how long he was thinking about that stuff, but it just doesn't seem right, you know? Yeah, I mean, he did text me a couple times and he seemed to be nice about it, right? But I did see like I don't know about 30 seconds or I don't know more than that, maybe 3 or 4 minutes of his video. But I mean, the concern I have is like how do you get to that point? You know, how do you get to that point from where you were? You know, and so it makes you wonder like were you ever? really one of us? Were you here just to cause some kind of like doubt or dissension or put us down a rabbit hole? And what's funny, not funny, but what's interesting is that he was saying that he couldn't taste or smell on his video. And that's exactly what Flat Earth Fokker was saying on his video. And that's exactly what what's his name, Antonio, was saying on his video. And you never know, are they being pulled out? If we find out that he passed away or something, right, from COVID, right, then what happens? You know, then how do you connect that, right? What do you say? And you know, there's no reason, there's no like line of evidence that would lead to that. It would just be a weird coincidence, right? And so, you know, what do I think? What do I think of it? I mean, what can you do, right? People are gonna, yeah. Well, obviously, right? Obviously, red skies, right? Obviously, it's fake, right? Because um, if you look at Koch postulates, right, you can't isolate a virus to show that it causes disease. Plus, no one's ever seen one, right? So bacteria is real, right? And so if you're wearing a mask constantly, and let's say you're not like a very clean person, you put on a mask, you know, and you put it on your car seat, you pick it up, put it back on, put it down, you know, that kind of thing. You're going to get bacterial pneumonia. And bacteria is real. You could see it with your eyes, you know, with a microscope. So so this is a real thing, right? So let's say you get some kind of, you know, hypothetically, you get like bacterial pneumonia, and someone they intubate you or whatever and put you on a breathing machine. Well, then you could die from that. And I'm not saying that anybody is nefarious and all that. I'm sure that it's like hospital protocol. If they come in like this, you got to do this, and they're just doing their job, right? Following orders, right? And then what do you do, right? Then how do you prove that? How do you prove liability? How do you prove intent? It involves too many people. It's kind of like what they did with the moon missions, right? Instead of just having like, you know, 10 people make all the parts to the space shuttle, they contracted it out to like, you know, 400,000 people. So, you know, somebody knows somebody that made something that went on the shuttle, you know, to make you part of it, you know, so you could say, oh, yeah, my granddad made things that went into space, you know, because it gives you that personal connection to it, you know. And it's very, very deep brainwashing. And this is what the devil is, right? I mean, he's it's all about causing deception, causing delusion, causing mind control. It's adversarial mind control, right? A government adversary is a mind control Satan. There's no two ways about it. That's what it is, right? Government is mind control. And so if I said, "Hey, point to the government," right? What would you point at, right? It's in your mind. It's not as big as you think it is. It's like a few people. And so even though there's like, you know, Republicans and Democrats and independents or whatever, they all work in the same building. They're still co-workers, right? It's just like if you were at your job, right? There's people you don't like at work. I mean, they're still your coworker. You probably would have their back before you would have someone else's back that was, you know, came from outside the company. And then there's the whole factor that they might even be related, blood related, you know. It's very interesting. Now, these are just ideas I'm throwing out there. I mean, I don't know any of this, right? But you start putting these things together of what's possible, right? I mean, I'm at the point now where I just assume everything's not real. Just everything. All of our history, all of the science, all everything. I don't even, all the medical stuff, all the everything they tell us is just it's just either not true or exaggerated or not really the way they say it is. Because I bet you've all worked at a job, right? Like, whatever job that is, right? And it doesn't quite work the way people think it does. You know what I mean? And you're like, no, that's not the way it is, or no, we don't make that much money, or oh, we make too much money, and that, who knows, right? It's always different than what the public knows. And it's almost like people want to be willfully ignorant of that, right? Because part of having more than you need, right? Even if you just have a little bit more than you need, right? It means that there's people in the world that don't have enough, right? And so how do you feel good about that, right? You just cut off your awareness of the whole world, right? Like most people have no awareness of what goes on in other countries. Just because your brain protects you from feeling bad, And it's really weird how these things like grab onto you. The only way from that I was able to ever understand it, right? That why don't people think about things on a broader scale, a bigger picture? Why is everything tunnel vision? And the only thing that's ever got me to be able to understand that is the Bible, right? That only God knows the big picture, and only He knows what's right or wrong, because He defines right and wrong. Without God, then it would be up to people to define right and wrong, and it would be way worse. like there would be no standard for right and wrong. It would just be constantly progressive to accept more and more stuff, which it already is becoming like that. But I mean, eventually it'll stop. God won't let it go on forever. And it's not like that we want God to show up because we're suffering out there. It's we want him to show up because it's not right out there. It's unfair to people. There's people that are going to get hurt. And what do you do? What do we do for people? Because these sheep, they can't think for themselves. And let's say we can think critically and ask maybe 2 or 3 more questions than the average person. We go to help them and they call us a fool. I mean, the game is rigged in a way to where even the people you're trying to help think you're the enemy. And Jesus said it would be like that, right? I mean, he predicted it perfectly. You're going to be hated. Even though we're trying to help, right? We're going to be hated. Even though when he was here, he was trying to help get people straightened out. They liked their illusions so much, right? Their delusions that they didn't even want God in their world, man. And that's how it is now. It is. It's crazy, right? All your coworkers are paganish. You like them and love on. Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, that's what we're supposed to do, right? Even if they, they hit you in the cheek, you turn them the other cheek, right? If they want to walk 1 mile, you go 2. And that's all we can do is do it in love, right? You can't force anybody or bark at anybody to change, right? People are only going to want to change if they like you or if they are attracted to something that you have in your life. They'll want to do what you're doing, right? And I think it is like it works on attraction, not promotion, right? Like you have to show them that like what we're doing is better. I mean, this is the way I tell people, right? I say the first reason, right? The ultimate reason that I have for for believing in God, right? The number one reason I believe in God is because it's true. I believe that the sky is blue, right? I mean, it's just that's number one. And number two, um, after getting an accurate image of what God is through reading the Bible, not from the mainstream and watching, Bible movies and Bible documentaries and pastors, but actually getting into the book, right? Now I have an image of God that I love, right? Like I love God. He is the good guy. And the bad guy keeps wanting to spin his image. And it's like, oh, we don't want God to kill all these people in the but well, he was trying to save us. So if God didn't do what he did, we wouldn't be here. Like a lot of people want it both ways, oh, I want you to save me, but don't hurt them. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like God has gone like bent over, every which way to help us, right? And yeah, and then we want to go and tell him, hey, I want you to help me a different kind of way. I mean, I mean, how egotistical you'd have to be, like, to say, oh, yeah, I want to exist, right, and be here where I am now, but I don't want God to have done anything that he did in the past to anybody, right? I mean, when God flooded the world, there was 8 people left, which those 8 people wouldn't have been here if they kept running things the way they were. None of us would have been here because we all came from those 8 people. Like we all came from them. So if they got smushed out from all the evil people that were, on the earth when God had to flood it, right? Then none of us would be here. He did that for us. And then people want to question. It baffles me, man. It baffles me that God was willing to do all that for us, right? And then we question it. It's crazy, man. I mean, what's wrong with the world, man? What what are we doing, man? And now there's only a few of us left, and we can't get people to join, and it's eternal contentment. And there's so much confirmation that I mean, if you're reasonable, I could pretty much prove it to you in a couple hours. And it's like even with all this confirmation that we have now, like the confirmation that we saw that made us like all in love and crazy about God right now, like the same stuff that gave us all this uh faith and all that, right? Um it is causing them to not want it. What is going on here? It seems like everybody in the world is against Jesus, right? Not bad. Only 10 people today. I don't mind it. I like it when it's a small group, when it's just us. Because the tighter the group, actually, the stronger it is. I think. And plus, people come in and stay for a couple of minutes and then they leave or whatever. There's always people that do that, but I like the small groups better. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, when it gets to 20, I get happy. But who cares, right? Because then a fight breaks out, and then it takes me all day to figure it out and fix it, and to where both people will still show up the next day. Sometimes it's just a pain in the patoot, you know. But man, we've been strong lately, man. I'm grateful I have you guys because this world would make me crazy if I didn't know if there's other people that could see what's going on here. And we got to really work on our discernment. Even when we think it might offend somebody, like if something's obvious, it is what it is, right? I mean, there are some things I think that we need help in discernment in. No, I mean, I guess you're right. It could be like babysitting, but I don't say it like that, right? Because you know, I think the majority of the people that come here kind of want to be taken care of a little bit. They're so used to taking care of other people that they just kind of want to be taken care of a little bit for just a little bit. And so I understand that. So I don't want to degrade it like that, but you're right. It's like that, right? Um, but it's definitely work, you know? And sometimes like I'll have to enlist a person, right? Just like one person. It's like, okay, look, I need someone to be there for me. Like I can't be there for everybody and then have nobody, right? It's like that could get pretty tough, right? So there's sometimes I enlist a person for that and I make that person crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's hard to hold everybody's like stuff in your head, right? And you can't share it with nobody because you gotta be trustworthy and you gotta be, you know, safe and be like in order to have friends, you have to be a friend. That's a big thing. Even in Proverbs, it says you got to prove yourself friendly in order to have friends, right? And so that's important. And I'm working really hard on teaching that second commandment, right? Like it's love God with all your heart and all your mind and your soul, right? And then love your neighbor as you would love yourself. You know, if we do those things, and we'll encompass all the commandments, right? And seeing as how that we were offered the gift of salvation through our faith, right? Um, it's the least we could do for God, right? And so ever since I started this channel, me and Tom started it. I felt like I've had a purpose, solid purpose. And it feels good to have purpose, right? To know what you're here for and to know what you're supposed to do. And I pray about it all the time and I get good confirmation that I'm doing okay. I know that if I do better, I'll get trusted with more, I keep wondering how I could keep trying, But anyway, guys, it's time to hit the old dusty trail. I hope I didn't bore you today. I feel like this was a boring show, but I did like, just speculate a lot and just put out some thoughts that, you know, it is what it is. I'm getting a phone call now at the same time. I'll say this. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God. All of it. He deserves it. And I will see you guys at 5 p.m. It was chill. I had my calm radio voice where you guys can just sort of, oh, you just got here. I just did the whole Dusty Trail thing, and I did all the other stuff. You're gonna make me want to start again for another 15 minutes. I'll at least ask how you're doing, Sheila, because I've missed you terribly, and I know that it's like it's rare that I get you here because you're working again. I know, I know. Um, Tom is good. He's just he's working, and I understand that. But anytime he wants, like, if I did the show, this is the thing, right? If I did the show 2 hours earlier, then we would have him every day. But I don't think I can get everyone on board for that. That's the whole thing. And so I did like a vote on it, and there's no way that people wanted to do that. And so your work is hard. Like I thought this was the job that you liked. I thought this was the one. Are you going to be able to do the same thing in Spain, or is it like this isn't a transferable, movable job? Oh, it's so exciting to move to another country. Wish I could do. Wish I had the guts to do something like that. Oh, there. See, it's all that political stuff, right? They politicize everything. I hope it will be. You'll at least be with Gordon, and that'll be something. All right, guys. Well, it's time to hit the old dusty trail for real. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. We're running out of time. All glory to God. And I will see you guys tonight at 5 p.m. Pray for the children. See you later.